In this video, I am going to break down for you what a sales playbook is, what a sales script is, and how you can find out ways in which to implement these in your organization. Because companies that do both scale faster, just is what it is. Oh, I am recording. All right, take one. Let's go. What are the fastest growing? What do the fastest growing companies have in common? It's not better leads. It's not lower prices. It's this, that their sales team or whoever in their organization is in charge of creating sales, whether that's upselling, cross-selling, getting referrals, checking in with an existing customer, they know what to say. And more than knowing what to say, they know how to say it in a way that isn't pushy, sleazy, spammy, scammy. And then they cut down on all the operations and logistics behind it because they have a system and process in place. You see, that right there is the difference between a script and a sales playbook. And if you're missing one or both, you're stuck. Chances are your executive team is your best salespeople in that situation. And the problem businesses have is they can't take all of the wonderful intellect from their executive team and teach it to others in a way that is repeatable and scalable. So let me break it down. If you don't have a sales playbook or script, your team is winging it. And can we always trust people to wing it and be successful? No. Think of an athlete. My mentor and dear friend Jack Daly used to always say, if you think of any sports team, the best athlete doesn't show up to practice and say, hey, coach, don't worry about me. I'll figure it out on game day. But the sales call is the game day. And so if you're not practicing with your team and you certainly don't have scripts and you don't have a playbook, they have to wing it. Today, in this video, if I ever get my hair right, in this video, I am going to break down for you what a sales playbook is, what a sales script is, and how you can find out ways in which to implement these in your organization. Because companies that do both scale faster, just is what it is. A sales script is a specific set of words or phrasing that your reps can use during calls, emails, or when they pitch. It tells them what to say when someone asks an objection to price. It tells them what to say when somebody says, hey, send me info. It has a breakdown of how they can respond when a prospect ghosts a meeting. Scripts equal words that work. That's it. At the end of the day, a good script should have freedom within the framework, meaning even though you know every part of what to say and how to say it when a customer responds, you still need to give your top producers a framework that they can use, and then their own freedom can come into play with it. This allows you to strategically coach your team. A couple of weeks ago, we guerrilla telemarketed. So when you're doing a cold call or you're auditing an existing call, or even you're just knocking door to door, at the very least, you have prepped with your team on what they can say through every part of what is likely to happen next in that scenario. Without a good script, you're just hoping someone on your team actually says the right thing. So do a test. Actually pull a couple of your reps aside and say, hey, how do you guys respond when a customer says, send me info? If they don't have a canned response, they're winging it. Or try this. Ask, what sets us apart from our competitors? If they don't have a canned response that sounds good and isn't pushy, sleazy, spammy, or overly salesy, you're winging it, and you're probably losing deals because of it. So then the question becomes, what's a sales playbook? A sales playbook, on the other hand, is the strategy guide. This is an executive management tool designed to decrease the amount of time it takes to train and hire a new rep. However, when we're all rowing in the right direction, the canoe somehow gets there faster. And so a great sales playbook encompasses not only the scripting piece, but also it's your team's GPS. It'll tell you who to target, how to target them, what to say, when to say it, what happens next, how to measure the KPIs, and which KPIs are the most important to you. It might also talk a little bit about where your leads come from and which leads have a tendency to convert at a higher amount. It talks about what to do if two reps start fighting over whose lead is whose lead, and how management can work around the entire structure of a sales team to make sure that the engine continues to run smoothly even when there's hiccups. A sales playbook isn't the words part, it's the process part, it's the structure part, it's the accountability piece. Another way to think of it for you sports jocks out there is like a football coach's plan. Your playbook gives the formation, and your script gives the actual play. So here's what happens when you wind up having a great script. Not only do you close at a higher percentage and the length of the transaction size tends to shorten, as well as the hiring side as far as talking to how you can get a rep ready for a customer conversation. It's a great plan. However, the thing that goes wrong with scripts is there's no consistent execution of the plan. You're probably lacking key performance indicators. One rep has a dramatic increase in sales compared to another rep, or you probably still have reps in the executive leadership function, not just the day-to-day sales function. If you only have a script, you might sound at times robotic, reactive, and your team won't be able to handle the complexity or what I call the one-offs. And we all know in business, everything is custom now. And so when we try to do the right thing and we try to customize the experience for whoever it is that we are selling something to, there tends to be nuances. Here's what happens if you only have a playbook. You have a great plan, but you don't have consistent execution. If you only have a script, you're robotic, you're reactive, and your team can't handle complexity. So what do we do with that information? The best companies tend to have both. They embed the script into the playbook. Then they've got the strategy and the execution piece. They have structure and spontaneity. They have vision and words that work. Take a construction company I worked with not too long ago. Their sales reps were winging every single bid. I said winging, not winning. There's a difference. They didn't quite know how to start a conversation with some of the GCs that they were trying to get these bids approved from. And when they did, they would scrap their heads. Many times they would have to get themselves into what we called the apples to apples comparison. And then they wound up fighting each other down on price. Or the engineering firm, where the individual really wanted her team to start selling more, but they didn't quite know how to word things and what to say because it can be scary to talk to strangers nowadays. So having the script in line taught them what to say so their confidence grew, and then building the playbook around that script showed management specifically that what gets measured gets done. Once we built that playbook and we gave the team scripts in the construction company, close rates, bid acceptance rates jumped to 38%. In a trauma therapist clinic, closing ratios increased to 275%. In a warranty company, we took what was a 6-month training process and boiled it down to as quickly as 4 days so new reps could get hired and be phone ready to talk to customers within 4 days, thereby figuring out what we did measure did get done, and we did it at scale so that we could grow that department at large. Response time drops. It doesn't take 3 days to get back with someone. Now it takes 10 minutes because all of the thinking gets done. There's a reason executives in Silicon Valley, they wear the same thing every day. It frees up our brains to find the creativity. And that's what a sales playbook plus a script within it does for you. It's the right words at the right time with the right process. And that is how you scale. Here's your takeaway. If your team isn't closing consistently, or you find yourself in meeting after meeting after meeting discussing the exact same things, don't blame the reps. Blame your system. We don't rise to the level of our goals, we rise to the level of our systems in place. Scripts will tell your reps what to say, a playbook tells them how to say it, and all of the logistics behind what needs to happen to move the sale further and faster. And if you don't have both, your team is likely leaving deals on the table and working way harder than they need to, which means you might even actually be overstaffed. So in the comments, let me know if you would like to know in the next video the 15 biggest drivers behind a sales playbook.